What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out India versus Pakistan Military Power 2024. I don't really know much about the Pakistan military. I don't know, if they have every single branch, like an air force, a navy, a ground force, and all that lot. I don't know if they have special forces. I don't know what it consists of. And I do know that the Indian military is the fastest rising, one of the best militaries out at the moment. In fact, I would consider it up there with the Brits and the US, if I was honest with you. That's my opinion, though. You might have your own opinion. And so it would be interesting to see what the power is of these two. We know that there's this weird little bit of animosity between the two. I'm not going to get into that, especially as a Brit. What I've learned through doing Hindu videos and stuff on my original pagan channel, I'm British, and I have to be well aware of the history of my country's past when it comes to stuff like India and Pakistan and stuff like that. And so I'm not going to get into the history of that stuff and the animosity between the two. But as we know that the countries do have a little bit of a rivalry between them, we can all acknowledge that. We could talk about what their military power looks like in 2024, especially considering we don't know which side of the aisle they would both land on if there was a giant war that kicked off. So this is going to be a super interesting video. It's by Gravity. I will leave a link down below to the original video. If you haven't checked them out already, please go and do it. Also, my channel sponsor, Chug. If you haven't checked out Chug yet, you've got to get yourself one of these absolutely amazing drinking vessels before Christmas comes. This is literally the best drinking vessel in the world with this massive piece of rope if you want to look like an absolute legend while drinking your drink over the Christmas holidays. Then get yourself a Chug. But for now, let's shut up, let's pull this up, and let's check out the different militaries. I'm presuming it's just going to be music, so I'm going to turn the music down. And it looks like we're talking about aircraft first. This is Pakistan's aircraft. Is it just aircraft in general? 60? Surely not. Surely it's not aircraft in general, right? India's 264, and that is transportation aircraft. My head's in the way there. I'll read it out if it's in the bottom right-hand corner. So India is very much at the forefront. Their F-22s, no one has them. None of them have them. But Pakistan has 387. That's a lot of fighter jets. That's what it's representing here. I'm presuming that Pakistan has more in pretty much every part of it here. I can't stop burping, hiccuping. 606 fighter aircraft, so nearly double. We're talking nearly double there. My God. My God, that's a lot. What are these? If the other ones are fighter aircraft, then what are these? 1,434 for Pakistan, or whatever these are. So far, India has been leading in everything, which doesn't surprise me. 2,296 total aircraft. Okay, here's a good one then. Total aircraft. India's been ahead with pretty much everything, which is kind of what I expected, if I'm honest with you, because we know that India is becoming, a powerhouse of the world, in my opinion. So it does go to show, I mean, look at the difference there. Like, you're talking nearly 1,000 more aircraft. You're talking nearly double the amount of fighter aircraft, and in total, nearly 1,000 more. That's a substantial amount difference. We're going to go into the choppers. Get to the chopper. That was my terrible Arnie impersonation. Only 80. Sorry, 40. Oh, was that only 40? Only 40? Oh, wow. Pakistan has the lead here with 57. Not many attack helicopters difference there. I wouldn't say that makes a vast amount of difference. What I would say, though, is it does, considering how much more fighter jets that India has. So although that there's only a 17 count difference there, my big thing is that the fighter jets would outrank it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But hey, 1 point to Pakistan for a change. This is, I'm presuming this is just helos in general. So this would include Chinooks, all that other stuff, I'm presuming. 352. Let's have a look here. Woo! That's a lot. 869 helicopters in general. Again, over double. So this will be like transportation and stuff like that. All right, we're talking Navy here. India has got more aircraft carriers being built. As far as I'm aware, they've got like 2 or 3 more aircraft carriers being built So India has 2 right now, and I'm pretty sure they've got a couple more being built. Pakistan has 0. 0. India's been funneling a lot of money into this technology. A lot of it. In fact, they've been funneling a lot of money into all of their technology. Pakistan has 8 submarines. Which, I mean, again, I always say this about submarines. India has 18. I always say this about submarines, right? This is what we know. I almost guarantee India's probably got around 25 to 30. That's what my presumption is in real life numbers, because they're not going to tell you every single one they've got. They're not going to tell you. There's a certain amount that they keep completely hidden from the public. And so my presumption is the numbers are quite skewed here. I'm presuming Pakistan probably has about 10, if they're lucky, maybe 8. But I think India probably has about 25. And that's my presumption. You might think I'm wrong, but when it comes to subs, you don't know the accurate number. All right, are we talking attacking vessels here? Are we talking just Navy in general? What's this going to be? It's looking like India's ahead here as well. If it's going to, it always shows the one that's less first. So Pakistan has 114. There's obviously a lot more here for India. Let's have a look here. 294. The Navy fleet. Again, over double. We're talking pretty much, apart from helicopters, we're talking nearly double of everything. 50% more of everything. That is astonishing. That is absolutely astonishing. Sorry, I'm very phlegmy. Okay, so we're talking ground vehicles here. 602. Probably some sort of ground-to-air missile vehicle carriers here. What did I say? 602. We're going with 700. So not a massive multiple launch rocket systems. Not a massive lead there, India. Surprisingly, I thought they would have a lot more. But let's see here. We've got a few more. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit more. Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot right there. 3,238 Pakistan here. We don't know what these are. We're presuming they're just some sort of ground-to-air weaponry. Wow. Wow. 3,243. Wow. Pretty close. Towed artillery. Pretty close between the pair of them as well. It seems like their vehicles, right? Everything else has been double, but their vehicles have been... Their ground vehicles have been pretty close here. Let's have a look. Tanks. Tanks is the next one. Let's have a look. 3,742 for Pakistan. That's a lot of tanks. That is a lot of tanks, and we know how important tanks are. People thought they were obsolete, but ever since the Ukraine war, we've shown that they are not obsolete. Again, India has the lead on tanks by almost 1,000. You have to remember with these numbers as well, if it ever kicked off with a war, production for these vehicles would go through the roof. And so what starts off as 4,614 would probably end up being like 8,000 by the end of, if there was a legit war between them two, or a war in general between India or Pakistan and anywhere else in the world. We're talking probably intercontinental ballistic missile vehicles here. With India having 66, which means Pakistan has the lead here. And these are the big boys. That's kind of scary for India. Not gonna lie. That's kind of scary. They've been leading in everything pretty much. But Pakistan has the lead. Are these intercontinental? They're just ballistic missiles. They're just ballistic missiles. There's not a massive difference between the two, but there's also, when it comes to ballistic missiles, everyone counts. Do you know what I mean? Let's have a look at... Oh, we're talking nukes here, aren't we? We're talking nukes. That's a lot of nukes. Wow. 170. That's a lot of nukes. That is a lot. That's scary, that, isn't it? How many has India got? Everyone's got too many of them. I just wish we lived in a world where there was no nukes. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Nuclear bombs. Pretty much the same. Pretty much on par. And again, just like submarines, same with nukes. This is what we know of, right? Like, it's vastly different to what is actually the reality when it comes to nukes. So take this with a pinch of salt. You know what I mean? Like, the truth is much different, I'm sure, when it comes to the nukes. All right, we're talking ground soldiers here. How many 2D ground soldiers do they both have? A lot of soldiers by the looks here. Holy. That's intimidating, isn't it? That is intimidating. Oh my god, it's not stopping. It's literally not stopping. Wow. Who's this? This is Pakistan. So they've got 550. Guess what it's going to be like for India now? Oh my god. India's becoming a powerhouse of the world. In fact, I think it already is. I honestly think it is. It's going to take like 10 minutes, guys. Sit back while it goes through all these people. I honestly think India is now one of, if not the powerhouse of the world. It's surpassed China and Russia, in my opinion. It's just a case of the US at this point. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I'm just glad we're friends with them. You know what I mean? 1.155 million reserves. This is just the reserves. Holy crap. Now we've got the regular soldiers. My God. My God. Oh my God. All right. Regular servicemen in Pakistan, 600. India has double the amount of reserves as what? In fact, India has more reserves than their total army over in Pakistan. Oh my God. I'm having a seizure because of all the friggin' people that it's going through. Holy crap. Wow. Wow. 1.455 million. Million. Good Lord. Good Lord. That is mental. That is absolutely mental, isn't it? Whoo. Again, I think India's becoming a powerhouse. And you guys know how much I love India. If you're not aware, I actually have another channel called Original Pagan where I've been looking at the Indian culture, specifically Hinduism and stuff like that. Original Pagan. It's absolutely brilliant. And I genuinely really enjoy it. I've been reading through the Bhagavad Gita. I'm a big fan of their culture. You're probably already aware of that. And maybe I have a bias as to how big their military is, but it is very impressive. It is very, very impressive. I think they're a very interesting country in general that people underestimate, and they have done for a very long time. Great video. I don't know how accurate it is, but it is very telling, isn't it? Link down below to the original video. Check out Chug, 10% off. Link down below. If you haven't already, go and do it. Get yourself this incredible drinking vessel before Christmas. 10% off. Link down below. Other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.